You want to start? Let you start the recording machine, and then we'll get started. All right. Yep, we're good to go. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, a couple of things. We continue to live under times of COVID-19. This space is set up for social distancing. Individuals do have enough space under the health guidelines to take off face masks or coverings if they want to. I'm choosing to do that. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood. Here. Meg LaFave.
Here.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick. Here. James Coffey.
Here.
And Kevin Penrose, town clerk, is also.
Resolution 87, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of May 7th, 14th, 21, 28 of 2020 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there, Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Is there anything for public comment this evening? Seeing no one in attendance for the public, I will remind folks that we are ensuring that the public can still engage our meetings using social distancing and face coverings. We will continue to move forward with Resolution 88, the abstract 6B-20.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 6B-19, 796 through 970 for $389,840.13. Abstract 1A6B-20, 143 through 153 prepays the amount of $289,900.72 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 89, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file monthly department head reports. Buildings and grounds for May, codes and zonings for May, dog control officer for May, none from the historian, just highway superintendent for May, none from the justice court, parks and recreation for May, planning and community development for May, none from the safety committee, supervisors, financial report for May, none from the tax receiver, the town clerk for May, and water and wastewater for May.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion?
Just want to thank Kevin for his patrol officer report. Appreciate that.
Thank
It was well done.
Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 90, authorizing reimbursement for the charges associated with the abandonment of Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens, Inc. to the town of Plattsburgh.
Whereas the town has incurred expenses related to the state of New York's abandonment of the Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens Incorporated Mausoleum in the town of Plattsburgh, and whereas many of the expenses necessary for the orderly transfer of this facility to town control have not and will not be reimbursed by the state of New York, and whereas Clinton County Supreme Court has authorized distribution of assets to the town of Plattsburgh from the former Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens, Inc., and whereas a portion of this distribution is not restricted to the perpetual care of the mausoleum and may be utilized to reimburse the town for the expenses related to the abandonment thereto, and whereas the town board has received a list of expenses from the town supervisor incurred and not reimbursed by the state of New York for this abandonment, which outlines the amount and proposed for such expenditures, now therefore be it resolved, the town board does hereby authorize the reimbursement to the town's general fund, the amount of $44,000.00 as outlined in the report of unreimbursed expenses related to the abandonment of Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens, Inc. from court-authorized proceeds released to the town by the former receiver of the corporation, and be it further resolved. This resolution shall be effective immediately, and a copy of this resolution shall be given to the town clerk and the town finance.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Actually, I'm going to call for a roll call on this.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, so does carry. Resolution 91, reserve funds.
Whereas the town is the recipient of certain monies from the state of New York as a result of the abandonment of Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens, Inc., and whereas the town has the obligation to maintain and operate the town of Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum, hereinafter the Mausoleum, and whereas the town board has determined that the best way to ensure that the mausoleum is properly maintained and respectfully cared for is to establish a capital reserve fund with the monies received from the state of New York, and use said funds and the income from said funds for the maintenance of the mausoleum and the equipment necessary to operate the mausoleum. Therefore be it resolved that pursuant to section 6C of the general municipal law, as amended, there is hereby established a capital reserve fund to be known as the Town of Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum Reserve Fund, hereinafter Reserve Fund. The purpose of this reserve fund is to use the aforementioned monies to maintain and respectfully care for the mausoleum and to purchase and maintain equipment necessary to the operation and maintenance of the mausoleum. And be it further resolved that the estimated maximum cost for said purpose is $196,000, and it is further resolved, the chief fiscal officer is hereby directed to deposit and secure the monies of this reserve fund in the manner provided by section 10 of the general municipal law. The chief fiscal officer may invest the monies in the reserve fund in the manner provided by section 11 of the general municipal law and consistent with the investment policy of the town of Plattsburgh. Any interest earned or capital gain realized on the money so deposited or invested shall accrue to and become part of the reserve fund. The chief fiscal officer shall account for the reserve fund in a manner which maintains the separate identity of the reserve fund and shows the date and amount of each sum paid into the fund, interest earned by the fund, capital gains or losses resulting from the sale of investments of the fund, the amount and date of each withdrawal from the fund, and the total assets of the fund showing cash balance and a schedule of investments, and shall, at the end of each fiscal year, tender to the board a detailed report of the operation and condition of the reserve fund.
On back then.
I'm sorry.
There's a part of it on back then. And I'll read it for the exempt. Exempt where otherwise provided by law, expenses for the reserve funds be made only for the purpose of the reserve funds and establishment. No expenditure shall be made by this reserve fund without the approval of the town board, and such additional actions and proceedings may be required from subsection 6C of the general municipal law and any other law. This resolution is subject to permissive referendum pursuant to the subdivision 4 of section 6C of general municipal law. Is there a motion to the effect?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second? Wood, any discussion?
Is that going to be invested in one of the banks that we?
It will be held in New York class, like some of our other investors.
So we will be earning some.
Yes. And just to carry this in more simple terms, this protects the assets that we have acquired for perpetual care for the mausoleum. These funds can only be used to items relating to the mausoleum. Okay.
Like just a requested edit, second resolve for said purpose. Did you teach that edit?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask for a roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, the resolution does carry. Finally, seeing no further resolutions before us, I am going to seek a resolution to the effect of going into executive session to discuss the ongoing pending litigation with the city of Plattsburgh and to discuss the work history of 10 specific employees. Is there a motion to the effect?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick. Mr. Clerk, can I have a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, we will go into executive session at 6:09 p.m. It will take a couple minutes for us to close the door and for Kevin to shut down the video camera. So let's give it a couple moments.
It occurred to me that you might have noticed I was on my phone. I look at the resolutions
know
That's
she
what's
should
been
tell
typing me
us.
notes. It's really, that's what's been happening.
It's new on Facebook today.
She likes my face.